What's going on, everybody? This is B7T coming at you guys with a review of the live-action Aladdin movie. Before I get started, I just want to say, overall, I really enjoyed this movie. I did see a lot of people had a lot of negative things to say about it, and by no means is it a perfect movie, but I really did enjoy the movie a lot. And, one thing I really did enjoy was how much they were able to broaden the story, and I love the backstory and the expansion of the character of Jasmine was. I loved that they gave that to her. And, one thing that I was thinking the whole time during this movie is Aladdin didn't feel like the main character of the movie a lot. It was mostly Jasmine because of how much they gave to her. But in reality, I liked that it was more geared towards her. I really did enjoy, learning more about the Queen, and learning, about where she comes from, but also Jasmine's her reason for doing what she's doing, or why she's going against what her father's wishes are. I really liked it. It wasn't just I don't want to marry who you want me to marry. It was more of I want to be sultan. And you get this sense of not necessarily defiance, but really I want to be my own person. I want to do what I think is right for my people. And I don't need somebody else coming in here telling me what that is. And I really enjoyed that. And, going a little bit further on Jasmine, they gave her her own song this time. And oh my gosh, was that song amazing. It's Speechless. Absolutely love that song. And the way, just you can see the passion coming from her while she's doing it. And it was just phenomenal. And then the genie, Will Smith, he did a great performance. And I hate when people are they're comparing him to Robin Williams. He's not Robin Williams. By no means is he Robin Williams, but he doesn't have to be Robin Williams. The genie is not defined by Robin Williams. Yes, they kind of gave Robin Williams free rein when he was doing the movie, but you can see in the sequels that it was more than just Robin Williams being Robin Williams, because he wasn't the genie, I don't think, in the other two sequels. So Will Smith did a great job in this movie, and I thought he really brought a good sense to the role, but at the same time, I feel like he was holding back a little bit. And I think the reason he held back might have been a directional thing. I believe that they were trying to get away from people comparing him to Robin Williams. But you had to know that was going to happen. Robin Williams was iconic in this role. People loved him in this role. I loved him in that role. But I will say, he didn't bring as much energy to it. And I think, like I mentioned, was that directional thing. But I don't think anybody else could have done the role and done it justice other than Will Smith. I just wish they would have given him a little bit more so that he would have been able to do it properly. The singing by Will Smith, he was great. I mean, Will Smith, as we all know, is a great singer. The biggest issue that I had with Genie was the CGI work they did on him. It was awful, especially when he was Giant Genie. It was just bad. It's like things just weren't syncing up right when he was Giant Genie, and it looked very, very poorly done. And just him as when he was Blue Genie, his original pigmentation, if you call it, the sky blue pigmentation. I don't know why they felt the need to do CGI on him. I've seen great work and great artistry in body paint nowadays, and I think that if they would have painted him, it would have looked better. You would have been able to, do making him a little bit more buff and, whatever you needed to do. But I don't think you would have been needed, the saturated, all the coloring. It's just, it didn't work. And on his face especially, it looked bad. But Friend Like Me, I love that. I absolutely love that. You would have been able to, do, making him a little bit more buff and, whatever you needed to do. But I don't think you would have been needed, the saturated, all the coloring. It's just, it didn't work. And on his face especially, it looked bad. But Friend Like Me, I love that. I absolutely love that. the flair that he brought to it was great. I loved what he did with it, and I wanted him to do more. And then we got Prince Ali, the song. Oh, and it was awesome. All the visuals and the one part about that I really loved is when they get to the palace, and the entourage is coming up, and they see the royal family, the guards or whatever, up on the balcony, and Genie turns around and he's looking at the Sultan. He's like, "Oh, we waiting on you," holding that note out. I thought that was really cool, and what was really even more cool about it is the Sultan was into it and was like, "Oh yeah, you're gonna wait for me. You're gonna wait for me, and go." I thought that was really cool. And then when they get into the palace, the whole jams sequence was just hysterical. I loved that. I love how awkward it was. And I really think that Genie made that scene that much more funny, because if he wasn't there, I really think that it would have been awkward and just weird to watch. But Genie just made it hysterical. Like, one of my favorite lines of the whole movie was after, like, towards the end of that encounter, Genie just kind of like to the side, to Aladdin. He's like, "It's dark and it's cold in that lamp, but I'd prefer it to this." I love that line, and it just shows the quirkiness and the funniness of Genie. And going a little bit further with Genie, though, like, how far is his magic supposed to go? Like, this was a plot hole that was found in the first one, and I feel like they tried to do it a little bit more and tried to cover that plot hole a little bit, but I don't think they executed it very well. How deep does his magic go? Because when you make Prince Ali, where did he come from? Oh, Ababwa. No one knows where Ababwa is. If you're making me a prince, shouldn't that include creating the place that I came from? And people should know what that place is. Even though it's a brand new place, these people should magically pop in their head. Oh, Ababa, that's that new place over to the east, or whatever. They should know where it is. And it kind of goes when Jafar asks, or his first wish is to be Genie, or not to be Genie, to be the Sultan. Why didn't it just like it was almost like all they did was give him clothes to be Sultan? What more is that? Like, it didn't make sense to me. And what I really would have liked is after the song Speechless, when Jasmine's talking to Hakim, which is a great scene, it sets up and shows her character really would be good as a sultan. He was just kind of like there, listening. And there was no like realization moment of, you're right. It wasn't grandiose enough, maybe, is what it was. But I would have liked it if maybe the guards had been like in a trance or something, and the people weren't fully, well, the Genie made him Sultan, so he's Sultan. That's kind of, it seemed like the depth of it. It should have gone deeper. It should have been like, they believe he is the Sultan, and not this other guy. It shouldn't have been, I don't know. I wish they would have flushed that out a little bit more. Going on to the main character, who's supposed to be the main character of this, Aladdin. So, as Aladdin, the actor, Mena Massoud, I thought he was great. I love the banter he's got, the swagger he's got, and the cleverness. And I loved what he did with the role. It was great. But his singing. Nope. I'm sorry. He is not a good singer. And I don't know if someone thought he was, or if it got played. I don't know. But the singing just wasn't good from him. One jump ahead. That was a great song from the original, and I loved it. And this one, it just didn't have the suspense like it felt like it needed to. And he was just kind of like, jogging around. And I think that was a directional error there on that song. There was no suspense to it, and I get they wanted to give you the feel of, oh, he doesn't need to try very hard to get away from these guards. But he should be trying harder and not acting. He should be giving it his all to get away, but he should have this look of calmness about him. Not to the point, like not calm to the point where I'm just dogging around to stay away from you folks. I didn't like that. The Cave of Wonders. I liked that scene, and I liked how Jafar basically like won over Aladdin, saying, I used to be like you. Let me help you by you helping me. You know what I mean? And stealing that thing out of his jacket pocket. I thought that was really cool. Kind of won him over before he was saying, I'll help you by giving you riches to impress the princess that you love or that you're interested in. I thought that was cool, other than just giving him the riches. I like that he won him over in a sense. And then when they get to the Cave of Wonders, one thing I was curious about, what extent does the don't touch anything go? Because they had to step on gold to get somewhere. Abu literally is hopping over and knocking gold over the whole time. So what was it, don't touch with the intent to take? Is that what you meant? Like that was a little iffy, and I wish they would have done that a little bit deeper. Now, here is my biggest mixed feeling moment of the entire movie, and it kind of goes back to what I was saying earlier with Aladdin not being a good singer and Jasmine having a good singer as the actress. A Whole New World. That song is phenomenal when it comes to the animated version. I love that song, and when the animated one came out, listening to that song, it was awesome. I absolutely love, love, love A Whole New World. In this one, I love half the song when Naomi Scott as Jasmine is singing. I love her in this role, and I love her singing as Jasmine. Mena Massoud, his side of A Whole New World, atrocious. Absolutely terrible. And I really feel like they changed the song so that he wouldn't have to sing that much, or that he wouldn't have to hold out his notes like he should. So the opening line, for example, in the original animated, forgive me because my singing is terrible too, it should be, I can show you the world. Hold that note. Instead, we get, I can show you the world. Why are you cutting it? Now, he's a great dancer, he's a great actor. I love every other aspect of Mena Massoud as Aladdin. It's perfect, and I loved it. But he couldn't sing. At any time, whenever he sung, I came out of the movie and I was like, God, no, you need to stop. Find somebody else to sing for you. And it shouldn't be that way, but it was. He just wasn't good. But on the other side, Naomi Scott, every moment she sang was it was beautiful. I loved her voice. I loved everything that she put into her songs. And like I mentioned earlier, Speechless. Oh, I love that song. I can't say enough about Naomi Scott singing in this. Jafar. Yeah, he was alright. The CGI on, Jafar Genie was terrible. I didn't like that. One other thing about Genie, now that towards the end of the movie, when Jafar sends Aladdin away to the Arctic, or to that snowland, whatever it is, Genie's master's Jafar. So why did he send carpet to Aladdin? Isn't he supposed to serve his current master? It's just more of those plot holes. I feel like there was a lot of great moments in this movie. It's a movie that I will want to watch again. I've already wanted to watch it just by talking about it again. I really enjoyed this movie. There are obviously a lot of flaws in it. They could have done better, but I will say I think they did a great job. As a whole, I would give it probably about an 8.4, roughly. But right there at a B. It's definitely one of my favorite live-action movies for Disney so far. So yeah, that's really all I got for the live-action Aladdin. So thanks for watching. Go ahead and subscribe and like this video. Thanks.